What is up, everybody? How's it going? This Marsh Makes Comics here on the Marsh Makes Comics show. I am Marsh and I make comics, and you can find my comics and everything else at a little place called donkeyjawprojects.com that I had a sticker for right here somewhere, like not very long ago. But how's everybody doing? It's a glorious, wonderful, amazing, super fantastic Thursday. I almost said Sunday. Why would I say Sunday? So we're hanging out. We're going to check out some cool mini comics, indie comics. We're going to talk about some character design. We might get into some character design. We're going to talk about some serialized comics, things of that nature. And hey, look, my camera's working. So that's good too. It's always a plus when your camera's working when you go live. Um, so we got Michael Hing here. Hello, all. We'll watch for as long as I can, though it's getting pretty late here in the UK. Yeah, it is. Let's see. Yeah, you guys are you should go to bed. But hey, thanks for hanging out. Mighty Geek Studios. Marshall, you're late. You're late for a very important date. You're right. I'm a little bit late. It's 5 minutes. Sorry about that. But, sometimes, it just takes longer to do things than you expect sometimes. That's all. So, yeah, I wanted to make sure that I had everything more ready than I do sometimes. Like a couple streams ago, I put like my mini comics here and I showed off some stuff, and then like something I didn't mean to show was there, and I had to like edit it and all that stuff. So, you know, I don't want that to happen. So I looked through them this time. And then what else? What else? I forget now. I was just trying to figure out some stuff. So, yeah. Donovan, what's up? Hello, hello, hello. Thanks for coming by. Michael Heng, doing well. Thanks. Going to hang out here before I crash tonight. Yeah, yeah, dude. Thank you for hanging. Acid Lace. I'm watching while I draw. That's a good thing to do. That's one of the fun things for sure. So I guess we're gonna get into looking at some mini comics here to start things off. I got a couple other things to show off too as people trickle in. Um, I guess it's always kind of starts with show and tell. I got that from Dede. What would Dede do? That's kind of been the theme of my show for the last month or so. I like how she does her shows, and so I'm inspired. Inspired. You know what I didn't do? I didn't get my seltzer waters today. That's not good. So there might be a little break at some point where I go grab one. Um, but yeah, so let's get into some cool stuff here, some inspiration as we start thinking about things like serialized comics, and we start thinking about character design, and I'll do some drawing and stuff. Hopefully tonight we'll talk about the next comic I'm going to make that I'm working on currently. It's just going to be a small comic. I'm probably going to just keep making small comics for a little while. So, what's this? This is My Life with a Meteor Hunter. Mark Rudolph, Art and Story, the Art and Story podcast from back in the day, the one where I first made my first mini comic from. Mark Rudolph, Kevin Cross, and Jersey Droz were the hosts, and I loved that show. And Mark Rudolph just kept knocking out the comics, and it was really cool. Look, 2011, he made this one. And he used the Pentel Pocket Brush Pen, which is a really fun tool. I have one. I never use it because I never got the handle of it, but he was big on it, and he made many a comic with it. You'll see some of them tonight. And yeah, I mean, look, I love this line work. It's got that classic comic book style. Just really fun stuff. So, um, cvcomics.com. Let's see if that website still exists. Because after the Art and Story podcast kind of, they discontinued it. Jersey Joe's continued with podcasts, and Kevin Cross continued doing stuff. And Mark Rudolph, I think he still stayed active working on stuff, but he kind of, yeah, looks like it's not working anymore. So that's too bad. Let me see. Let's just type in Mark Rudolph comics. See if something comes up. Because I love his stuff. He has an Instagram, Mark Rudolph. And yes, it's spelled like the reindeer. He's got a Twitter. He's got a store Envy. Let's check that out. See if he's still selling stuff. Yeah, it looks like he's still got stuff for sale. Even some of the ones that I might show you here. So I don't know. Yeah, worth checking out. Check out just Google Mark Rudolph, and you will find some cool stuff. But yeah, I love the brushwork here and everything. Really cool stuff. Let's see. We'll get into some more. Another person involved with the Art and Story podcast was Rob Stenzinger. My brain hasn't been working much lately, so please forgive me. And this is, one of his mini comics. That's really cool. I got to get off of the YouTube because it's like lagging. I'll pause that and then go back to the live stream thingy. What is up, Gary? How you doing, dude? Thanks for coming by. So yeah, this is one of Rob Stenzinger's stories, which is really cool. Art Geek Zoo. Fun stuff. Got lots of his stuff. Tombs of the Blind Date. This one's more like an art book, I think. Oh yeah, it was like an art book, but with like little captions at the bottom. Really fun stuff. It was like babes and like this what is it, like death, like his version of death, I think it was, or something like that. And they just had like funny sayings, so fun stuff. John Oxbow, Man Out of Time, another Mark Rudolph one. Really cool stuff. I mean, he's somebody who took mini comics to a place where it's like almost like premiere, like just really well produced comics. It was like the art's great, it's printed really nicely. Like he's got a separate cardstock, cover, and kind of like if you've ever seen any of Scott Serklin's books, he does that as well. So really cool. This is the official Art Geek Zoo, which again, Rob Stenzinger, and it was a web comic at first, and it grew into, he ended up like publishing it as print. And Rob Stenzinger is a cool dude. He's always experimenting. He's got an interesting like blocky, cartoony style, which is fun. And I've always dug his stuff, and he's a really nice guy too. I've had him on my channel at least twice. And you can see from the beginning to the end his progress and how he kind of got better. This is like one of those web comics type of people who they do their web comic, and it's kind of cool to see their progress. So yeah. And the comic, his like, it was all kind of about music and like guitars that like were alive and things like that, and kind of little adventures and stuff. And yeah, pretty neat stuff. This is just a cool brochure. I've showed you guys Todd Webb, my friend Todd Webb, who introduced me to, and this phone number is not real anymore. This address, I don't know even what it is. It used to be the Stream Comics thing for like a minute, and I even worked there for like a minute. And it's like this. It was this comic store, and this is where I met this guy and where I found out about mini comics. And I walked into the store. I'm like, oh, there's a comic shop here now, because I think there used to be a comic shop in this town, and then they went out of business, and then there was this little tiny comic shop that sprung up at one point. I went in, and it's like this kind of pretty small room, um, and it was only open once in a while when somebody happened to feel like working there for a little while. Like, it was kind of stupid. But it was nice. It was quaint. It was fun. And mostly I just loved it because I met this dude, Todd Webb, there, and this is his art, and he did like a little flyer and stuff. So yeah, and he introduced me to mini comics. Melted Wax presents Motor City Myths and Legends. I told you guys at one point that I did a pinup for this guy for one of his comics, and I love his style. It's like almost like it reminds me of like oh, what was that? Those designs I showed the other day, like in one of the books. What's it called? There's like different motifs and like patterns and designs, and he loves to get into doing foliage. And it's always, he kind of builds a world around his characters when he draws really cool stuff. And anyways, this was just a mini comic that came with one of his comics, and it was really cool. So very lots of detail, like just this is actually more along the lines of kind of the style I would like to grow into. Not like this exact style, but like something where I can just really have fun expressing and drawing cool art while at the same time telling a cool story, And I love texture. And yeah, I don't know. This stuff is really neat. And it's kind of cartoony. It's almost got a graffiti vibe. He loves doing these little hatching textures and stuff. And yeah, I don't know. I really dig his stuff for sure. Let's see. I forget his name. It's been a while. Sorry, guys, but it was actually a guy and a girl. Michael Woolley. That's right. Okay, and Jessica Kobe, I think, was his girlfriend or is his girlfriend. I don't know, or maybe wife now. And they kind of worked together. I think she wrote it or something, and he would draw it and stuff. Yeah, really cool stuff. So yeah, what's new, Marsh? We'll get into what's new. Thanks for asking. There's I'm working on another comic, a little small comic or whatever, and we're gonna get into a little bit about it. And there's crusty stuff on this comic, unfortunately. Um, let's see. Peter Retro Palmiotti says, "Hey, Marsh makes comics and all. Thanks for coming by, Peter. Hope all is well, sir." So this is cartoonstudies.org, and they had like a school in like Vermont, I guess it says even right here, located in White River Junction, Vermont. And there was a lot of people who kind of went to this school and learned a lot of things. So I think this is kind of almost like a pamphlet for the school slash a little mini comic that tells you how to make comics, like almost like a mini Scott McCloud, like understanding comics, but just their own way. Yeah, the Center for Cartoon Studies, maybe it was the college. I forget. There's like, yeah. So it was a cool little comic, and obviously really well done. So you can either go all out with making mini comics, or you can kind of keep it rough and tough, like the way I do it generally. Here is just this zine. I showed you guys something like this in the last video, I think, or video before, or something like that. And again, just some people on Instagram who decided to like kind of publish some of their art together in like a cool little art zine. And I think it was probably like $5. I'm like, yeah, I'll get it. Super inspirational. There's some interviews and articles and stuff. You even see like old school screenshots of is this Facebook? I think this is, or is it Instagram? Kind of funny that they did that. And there's like a graffiti vibe going on and stuff with some of this. And yeah, I mean, it's really inspirational. Like, it's fun to see what you can do, just with little books. You can do anything, man. It's fun. Ooh, here's one. Here's a big deal one. Kevin William Cross, Mod Unmasked. This is like prime time, baby. So I think most of us know who Kevin Cross is, and this is like his first, 2009, kevincross.net. That website probably still is going. Let's see. Let's take a look. Let us take a look. He doesn't really promote it that much, so he might get pissed that I show it. But he's got it all over his stuff, People making noise. Ooh, it's still up. Cool. So he's got his like portfolio and contact stuff and all that fun stuff at kevincross.net. But that being said, this is his little mini comic, and it's, super well done, as is pretty much everything that Kevin Cross does, and it's kind of on almost a newsprint type of paper, but it's got like a cardboard stock cover. And yeah, this is the original. This is where the Monkey Mod lore starts, Pretty cool. And Monkey Mod turned into a more cartoony figure. This is more of a like representational, realistic as a monkey person can be, I guess. Pretty cool stuff. Cool old picture of Kevin. So yeah, Monkey Mod. And of course, I have like my comics mixed into like every mini comic stack I have. So Jesse Acosta, another artist who's been around, friends and stuff that I've had. We've have. I think he came from Art and Story days. If I can't remember, it's hard to say, but Cthulhu Christmas Carol by Jesse Acosta. So, you can literally explore like any fun idea you want to explore with mini comics. Little art sticker. Here's some more of Todd Webb's Toddzilla comics. Again, the inspiration of somebody who really got me into this mini comic stuff. Pepper DeLuca, a little mini comic from Pepper DeLuca. I think this might be his 1 hour comic challenge one. Apparently it got bent, which sucks. But you guys may or may not know of Pepper DeLuca. Really cool dude who makes comics, and he's a really nice guy. We showed this before. I just have so many of these ubiquitous funnies, Some more fun stuff. Star Cats. Is this Ewan? I think no, this is somebody else. I remember this though. Really cool stuff. Another one from Meg something. What's her name? I don't know why I can't remember her name, but I showed her stuff off a while back, or a couple episodes back. But I dig her stuff, dig her style. Again, somebody playing with that chick tract type of format. Armor Quest from Community Comics. This is probably almost more of an ash can because it's like a real deal like comic sort of. Art by Kevin McDougall, or McDougall. Story by Ben Avery. I'll be honest, I think I bought this at a comic convention. and it's like a sketchy version. Is it like a sketch I don't know, it's just his style maybe, but I love it. I love sketchy artwork so much, way more than the super polished stuff sometimes. And this is just fantastic art. It's just amazing, you know. So, you know, it's always nice to get some more inspiration. This is from one of the 9-volt anthologies we did, and we did, trading cards for it. So, we got some cool stuff. This is mine, Expando. We got Frank Salazar's Captain Courage. We got Peter Seckler's Rabbit Fighter, The Muck. This one might be um, Dan, possibly. Also known as Sideburns. It's hard to remember for sure who's. Oh, we got the backs here. Let's see. So that one would be. Let's see. Do. It doesn't have the person's name. Huh. All right. Well, I don't remember exactly who everybody was, but cool thing. It's like I think that's the only thing I've ever had in a trading card. I did the old school like dot, you know, type thing or whatever. So that's cool. So yeah, look at this, a little drawing of one of the characters in the Young and the Dead by Mr. Cirqueworks himself, Scott Circlin, apparently in 2013. Came probably with he used to do like kind of a mini comic version where it was like and you'll see something here in later, but he would do like a special edition mini comic edition, and it would come with like some art and a cool cover, and it was mini comics, and it was awesome, and that's the one I would always buy. you know what else we got? Slapdash #1, again another Todd Webb mini comic. Jono Demophon, he's the one who showed me how to do these one-page folded comics that I use for the 1 hour comics. And he's made a lot of them and sent them to me. And he had a video too where he shared how to do it. Here's another one, Doogie, The Great Fly War. So you can, even with these little tiny folded comics, you can get pretty, you can get into doing some color, and you can print them right at home. If you have a nice little printer that has some color, you could do that, fold them up. You could even stitch them up and make them even bigger if you want. So, pretty cool stuff. Mark Rudolph, Dagon. This is his, Lovecraft take on Dagon. He even has like a dust cover on it. This is how deep he gets with these mini comics sometimes. You can do all kinds of things. This is perfect bound, so I guess maybe it's technically not a mini comic, but I don't know, it's a small comic. And again, killing it with the brush pen, the Pentel pocket brush. Love this stuff. And I don't know if you guys have read Dagon, but I have not. I have read this. And he took inspiration directly from it and tried to do his own rendition of the public domain story, which I'm assuming is public domain. I know some of Lovecraft's stuff. There's his picture, Mark Rudolph. Some of Lovecraft's stuff is not in the public domain, from what I understand. So, and some of it is. So, this is a cool comic. I love this comic. They call me Black Fist. So it's blaxploitation rockabilly fighting manga show enough. So Pharaoh Bolding, he is the creator of this, and he's a dope dude, and I just love this comic. It's a really fun adventure, meant to be a blaxploitation. There he is right there, type of comic. And yeah, I mean, you can go, sky's the limit what you can do with these mini comics. More Pat Higgins. I think I showed you guys some of Pat Higgins. He's still rocking and rolling. I follow him on Instagram. He just keeps on keeping on with his illustration career and making comics and prints and things, and really cool dude. A very little mini comic called Zoom. I don't remember who did this, to be honest, but it's cool. And it's like a folded mini comic, but it's like a even smaller folded kind of one page type of comic. So fun stuff. Let's see if it says who it is. Oh, Afloto. I don't know how to say his name perfectly, but Afloto Monstro. I like how he signed it too. He did almost like that 3D like effect with the blue and the red type of thing. Yeah, I love his stuff. Whenever he sends stuff to me, it's really cool. This is astronauts from one of my friends, another one of my friends from the internet that I know his name very well. We worked on some things together, but there's so many people that come across. Here's another one of his. Maybe he has his name in here. Astronauts.com. That probably doesn't exist anymore because he stopped really doing comics. Plummy Press, Jesse Hughes. He did a lot of cat kind of comics, and there's a little cat butt with his cat butthole. Fun. Let's see. And this is, I don't know what this one is. I'm not sure where I got this one. Probably bought it at a convention or something. Another cat thingy. Getting kitty with it. Type B for Bedlam. All right, so rocking and rolling with the cat comics here. And this is another one who was kind of around from the art and story days. This one's kind of printed on a, I think, computer paper or like almost a newsprint type of paper as well, with some cardstock. And yeah, George Ward. It's been a long time since I've seen him around. This is another one that's really cool from Nathan. Oh, Jamie. Oh, this is Jamie Gamble. Okay, so this guy is a writer, but he made his own mini comics too at times. Actually, what's funny is people don't know, but he's one of the first ones who hopped onto 100 Days of Making Comics when Kevin Cross put the challenge out for everybody else to do it. He was like literally one of the only ones at one time, and he did it. I think he even might have done it twice, but nobody really noticed him because he was like a writer and he was just talking about stuff, but he was doing it. And I was actually going to do a project with him at one point, but just never kind of came through. But I mean, he's a writer. He's not really an artist exactly, but he made his own comics. And I think that's a great exercise to do, for writers. So, yeah, if you can draw a little bit, it's worth it, I think. Just another mini comic. Probably somebody who did the challenge, or I don't know. It's really cool. Oh, I think this one's off Loto. Okay, he did. This is kind of a different verse style, Okay, here's the astronauts. Number one. This is Ryan Wheatley. That's his name. Okay, I don't know why I couldn't remember. He was like a good friend for a while, but oh, so many people. But yeah, really cool stuff. I love it. And I did. He wanted to make a video game for astronauts, and I was working on like the soundtrack, like the 8-bit style soundtrack for it. And I think it wasn't long after that he kind of stopped doing comics and stuff so much. Another Pat Higgins mini comic, more on the colored side, really cool stuff. Again, fully colored mini comic. Pretty cool. Pat Higgins rocks. This one's cool too. I think this one's Nathan Siebold. And he has like this kind of see-through cover, which is cool. And it's got the blue lines on the second page. Really fun, like the construction lines. He loves to draw like cryptids and monsters and stuff. Yeah, it's definitely Nathan Siebold. I remember. And this came out the same. This is born out of the same mini comic stump truck that the first Glyph comic was born out of, which is really cool. He is somebody from, I think, Tennessee or something, but he lives, or used to live at least, in Australia. He like moved there, and yeah, I wonder what he's doing these days. Really cool stuff. Again, little see-through action there. You could do all kinds of fun gimmicks with mini comics, you know. Ted Secco once again. No pain, no gain. He kicks butt in a major way with his work. And he did, you know, like how comics sometimes used to have like a trading card. He stapled one into this comic, which is really cool. It like harkens back to that time in the 90s when sometimes they would do that. And I just love the energy of his style. Again, this is a guy who he works on. He's one of the animators on SpongeBob SquarePants, or at least was. You know, and you know, he's not like drawing the main drawings. He's probably doing like in betweens and stuff. He's just one of the cogs in the wheel. You know, not to say that's a bad thing. He's got a cool job. You know, and it's not because he can't draw. It's because, you know, that, and you could see like kind of the movement. Like you can almost tell that he's an animator, because, you know, animators focus so much on really getting that gesture and that movement a lot of times. And I just love, even though it's like kind of rougher stuff, which I think is cool anyways. You could see the power in the stuff he draws. He always has so much power and mood, and like it's like a dude who you think this guy should be drawing, um, you know, Hulk or something, you know. So Rock'em Sock'em Bot. I bought a lot of stuff from him. He's like one of my favorites. I don't remember what this is from, but it's another mini comic. Trying to see if I can find the name of the person. Definitely. Oh, I know. I think I know who this is. Let's see. Matthew Nelson? Oh, maybe not. It's just another cool creator that I don't really know much about, but that's okay. You know, you collect these things and you enjoy them. And I mean, sometimes you don't know. Shaolin Monk, The Tale of Zhou and Ming. Jesse Acosta. Oh, yeah, I remember this. Another one from him. And, you know, kind of a cool little tale. I think this one was Art and Story, from the Art and Story mini comic stump truck as well. And I wonder what he's been up to. Jesse Hughes. More mini comics. This is the typical, like, just use copy paper, fold it in half, and staple it in the middle, and you got a comic. I mean, what's more fun? Like, it's so easy and it's fun, and I find these things super inspirational. Like, I love comics that are like this, you know, that's just super simple. Here we go again, Offloada Monstro. Really cool artist. I love his stuff. And, you know, he used to just send me stuff from time to time because he liked what I did. And, you know, I would buy stuff. You know, I always like to support other creators. And he got like a little thing in there saying thank you. And dude is awesome. He's got cool styles and fun stuff. So, yeah. Here we go. Scott Circlin, Keep Out, Young and the Dead, Mini Comic Deluxe. Pretty cool, right? He always has these cool dust covers, gimmick type things, which are awesome. And then, you know, nice card stock on the you know, cover. And then the interiors are copy paper, basically. somebody was asking me that recently, like, how do you make comics on copy paper? Doesn't it bleed through? Well, it doesn't bleed through. The printer, ink doesn't bleed through because it's not meant, like, it just, I don't know, like, it just doesn't. That's not what printer ink does. But you can, like, in the light, you can see through the page a bit. And Scott might have used a little bit of a thicker stock than actual copy paper. This feels like it might be a little bit thicker, because he's all about quality anyways. So, but this is like, this is like the second one maybe, or maybe it's the first one. I don't remember. I think this isn't the first one. Yeah, this is definitely not the first one. They're already into the action and stuff, but 13 of 50 artist edition. Good stuff. Good old Cirqueworks. He's been kicking butt for a long time with this. So yeah, another offloader one, and I just love this. I mean, the Stark, the little cute, like, cutesy kind of cartoony character against the background of the Stark city. I mean, he's not the first to do that, but I think it's cool. Like, whenever somebody does that, really fun. It's like a interdimensional character or something, and again, just somebody having fun making comics and drawing cool pictures. And it's wordless. He's just going on this little adventure. And then there's like a little sketch card here, to add a little something fun, original sketch card art. So another thing you can do, with your comics. Pretty neat. Oh, this is Mark Rudolph again, and I guess we're ending this part with that. And this is like, I mean, this is a mini comic deluxe, man. This is like a real deal comic. It kind of reminds me of like the old comics that might come with your He-Man figure, but even better quality, really. And this is him kind of doing his Kirby impression. I feel like, this is one of my favorite mini comics I've ever seen. Like, it is like full on finished, beautiful artwork. Yeah, he's definitely hitting up that Kirby stuff, on this one. Usually, he tends to have like this brushwork stuff, but this one, he's doing something a little different, which is really neat. It's like Thundar the Barbarian type of thing, and he's got like different chapters, part 2. He's totally doing his Kirby stuff here, which is really neat. Part 3. I love it. Like, this is one of my favorite mini comics ever. So, yeah, really cool. I love this bird character. Mulligan's Run. Classic Mark Rudolph. Love it. So there's some mini comics for you. We're going to get into some other stuff. We're going to talk about character design. We're going to talk about serialized comics. I'll put this in my already showed you guys mess. It's not long. It won't be long before I've gone through all the mini comics I pretty much own. Here, this is thumbnails for the comic I'm working on. I still got to do more thumbnails, but let's check out the chat and see where everybody's at. Icy, hello everyone. These books look cool. Yeah, right? I think so too. Adam Lore, I have a page of original art from that Monkey Mod comic. Oh wow, that's cool. You are freaking lucky, dude. That's awesome. The page where he is dismantling that missile or rocket, that's freaking awesome. I wish I had something like that. I don't know if I have any original art from Kevin, but I got the comic, so that's cool. So yeah, Devonte Edwards, what's up? Thanks for coming by. Michael Hing, Dagon is a great short story from what I recall. If you can take it, Thomas Ligotti is worth a look, but his horror is really bleak. Better as words than a comic, though. Okay, cool. one of these days I might check it out. I talked about it in I think last episode or something. I recently listened to the Rise of Cthulhu, and I don't know. I was looking for story, and I don't really know that it's like barely a story. It's more like description and stuff. I don't know, but I could see why people enjoy it, but it wasn't quite what I was looking for at the time. So you guys might hear some rumbling in the background. The kids are playing outside, and there's this like right behind me is a window, and it's got like there's like this like trap door type of thing that goes down into the basement, and it's really loud when people run over it, and they have fun running over it, but I'm a little worried like that it'll open one day, like so, but I guess it's strong enough. I think you could technically drive over it, so but I wouldn't. So anyways, Mr. Rainbow 228, what is up? I discovered your channel today and watched your video on making mini comics. It was a good video. Awesome. Thank you for watching. And yeah, a lot of people have dug that video. And, that's kind of why I keep showing mini comics too, because people like that kind of stuff. And I do too. So I freaking love mini comics. Mini comics are the bomb. Let's see. So it looks like my camera is, I don't like this white balance situation. Let's fix that. Maybe I should put it on auto. I don't know. I'll put it back on auto. Hopefully it won't be weird visually. I do want to at some point upgrade my camera up here. And I'd like to, at some point when I have the money, subscribe to StreamYard, the bigger version or whatever, so I can do 1080. I was asking Dede about that, and she said she actually does stream in 1080. It is more money, and I might have to actually connect through the cord with the internet instead of wirelessly. They even suggest that on StreamYard, but it would be great because I mean, when you're doing art videos, drawing videos, having good picture quality, I think is kind of a good thing. So what else? I wanted to show some more stuff. If Dede was here, I would definitely, but I'm gonna just show it anyways. I was gonna show it last week and she wasn't here, or the last episode and she wasn't here, which is fine. People don't have to come. It's no big deal. But she did watch it on the replay, so hopefully she'll watch this on the replay. I mean, it is what it is. But let's see. Mighty Geek Studios. I'm drawing my mini comic on 7 by 10 inch paper. All right, cool. That works. That's the cool thing with mini comics. You can really like go to town and do like make up your own format. Your imagination is like your only limit, is your imagination. So you can do all kinds of things. The other comic guy, what's up? Thanks for coming by. So if you guys aren't familiar with Dede, and let me just really quickly put her link in the description. I need to save it as so it goes in automatically because it's not yet. Or is it? Maybe it is. Let's see. Let's go check. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do. No, it's not. So, here we go. Bam. All right, save. And her link is now in the description for her YouTube channel. So the reason why I want to kind of shout out Dede, she's such an awesome, like super supportive person and friend. And I love watching her shows. She does them at 8:30 a.m. Mondays and Wednesdays, and she does them for about 4 hours. Like I said, this last month or so has basically been what would Dede do on my channel? I just been kind of copying her. with everything. But I like it. I like that format, and so we're going with it. What's up, Gladman Comics? Thanks for popping in. So one thing that people don't always know, maybe with Dede, I would assume, is she's like a really good artist, like amazing artist. And years ago, many years ago, she drew this picture of me in color pencil. 2014, because it is signed and dated. And at the time, I was talking about like, oh, I want to do portraits of people making funny faces and stuff, and so she did that of me, and yeah, I don't know. It's like really, it looks like me making a funny face, and I love it. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. So, yeah, she did that and sent it to me years ago with some happy mail. And yeah, she's a really amazing artist. So, I just wanted to show off some of her amazing art. Um, and then also, her friend slash, I guess, becoming my friend as well. Hopefully, I guess, I don't know, Janet. She found out about the man card thing through Dede's show, and so she made some robot, what she called robot man cards, and this came in the mail recently. And I win? I don't know if I won. I don't think I won a giveaway. She just decided to send it to me, which was really cool. And we were talking about like, what should these man cards say? And I said, make me a sandwich. And she's like, all right, I'm going to do that. So this is her first robot man card that she made. And yeah, I don't know. It's fun. And the cool thing is, I can't show her letter because it has like her address and my address on it. But um, she did another cool little robot drawing, just all colored and everything on that letter as well. So that was super fun too. So thank you, Janet, if you're watching. Um, I love it. Another cool man card in the can. A man card in the can card. I don't know. That doesn't make sense. Anyways, so yeah, pretty cool. And this is what I did last episode. Inktober Hybrid Monsters. A little update on this. It was fun doing this. And so I did do some sketches just to play around with some ideas, and it was like barely from this list. It was just me trying to draw some monsters, trying to just warm up and stuff. So here's a couple monsters type things. Um, and so the thing is, though, is I'm thinking about this Inktober Hybrid Monsters thing, and I'm thinking, man, I don't know. I don't know if like this happens every year with me with Inktober. Like I want to do it, but then I'm just like, but I'm trying to make comics. Like I don't have time to like draw a drawing every day, or come up with a whole like this is not that easy, necessarily to come up with a character, even when you have these prompts. But I think I don't know. I may just kind of do what I've done in the past and just kind of randomly do Inktober when I have time, if on a day that I have more time, or I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I've never been. Only once I think have I ever been super strict with Inktober, where I actually finished. And that sketchbook I showed in the last episode, if you want to check it out, you can see a whole Inktober sketchbook, and it's pretty cool. There's a lot of cool drawings in there. So that might be worth your while. But I don't know. Again, I was going to share this too, so I may still share this. And it's just animals, elements, monsters, cryptids, people types, just ideas and random words. And the idea is just to mix them all up and just kind of take one from all these categories and try to make something out of it. Again, I may still do this, but I don't know that I'll do it every day because, like, I just don't know if I have that in me right now. What I have in me is I want to make more comics. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So yeah. Oh, this is next to me, so I'll show it off again. I made this weird Spawn, blank cover drawing, painting, mixed media thing, and it's up on eBay if anybody's interested. And I just sold something on eBay the other day. Actually, I think during the last stream maybe. And that was really cool. One of my King Tusk drawings, which was really fun. So, yeah, just kind of making mention of it because it happens to be right next to me. So let's see what everybody's saying. Why not post a link to Dede's channel in the chat? You know what? I'll do that. Why don't I just do that? Good on you, man. And by the way, while I'm doing that, everybody can feel free to hit the like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed, all that fun stuff. And if you're watching on the replay, throw a comment in there. Let me know what you're doing. What project are you working on right now? Do you have a comic project? We're going to be talking about creating characters, and we're going to be talking about serialized comics today. So let me know what you're up to as I put Dede's link in the chat. But damn, there it is. Haha, that's great. I'm not sure what you're saying, what's great, but thank you. Because it was probably from something I showed earlier. You thumbnailing Marsh. Good morning. Yes, good morning, Dan. Yeah, there's thumbnails here. This is my new comic that I'm going to be working on. I got 2 thumbnails down. I got one, at least maybe 2 more to go. I think it's going to end up being a 4-page comic. So once I figure that out, I'll start actually working on the comic. But what I'm going to do is try to do a little character design sketching tonight, which I need my ballpoint pen. Here it is. Ballpoint pen is probably one of the best tools you can have in your arsenal of creativity. It's just I don't know. There's something about it. It's very sketchy, but you're using ink, and you're probably not going to make a finished piece with it. So it like takes away that like preciousness, and it helps you to just let ideas flow. You know what I mean? I love drawing in ballpoint pen, especially when I'm working out designs, characters, thumbnails, things like that. That's awesome. Dave Hingley's in the house. What's up, dude? You have like one of the best like avatars, and you've had that same avatar forever. It's awesome. Why not do the challenge in November or December and call it something like Monstember? I could totally do that. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but as of the last few days, I've been like thinking about the idea of doing this Inktober thing, and it's overwhelming me, and it's making me feel like if I commit to this, I'm kind of missing a step where I could be more focused on things that are more important for what I'm trying to do right now. So we'll see. I think I'll probably sporadically do it, which is fine. I think. I don't know. I don't. I can change my mind. I could change my mind if I want to. Oh, I put my own thing by accident. I'm going to give Inktober my best shot. I'm pretty pumped. Awesome. That's awesome. I mean, I love the challenge. I think it's a great thing for people to do. So good luck, man. And it is fun too. Still need to finish my thumbnails, around 30 pages. Ooh, yes. Somebody actually asked me for a quote on thumbnails the other day, like how much would it cost for you to do thumbnails for like a so and so page comic. I don't think they told me the page count. I asked them, and I have to look through my email. I'm gonna start saying a different email address from now on, because the one that I keep using is like my main one, and it's just too clogged up with emails. And I just like I miss emails, or I don't like I can't catch up with all of them, you know. And I've been having people actually contact me here and there lately, so I don't want to miss those important emails. So I'm going to have like a specific one, and I think I already have one. Let me actually check right now, because why not? It's fun to check, especially when you're streaming for 4 hours. You can do whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure I already created this email. Do do do. I'm not gonna say it until I know for sure that I did. I'm pretty sure I did. Do put in your password. Of course, do I really remember my password is the problem. Oh, I'm signed in. So if you want to ask me specific things or whatever, or you're looking for a commission or something, which I'm open for commissions, guys, or anything like that, you can go to marshmakescomics@gmail.com. So, but I'm gonna have to like, I don't know. Oh, it's trying to make me do stupid things that I don't care about. Oh, look at that. I have emails in here too. That I have not checked this email. I don't I didn't think I even used this email at all, and I really didn't, but there's 239 emails in the inbox, so oh boy. Anyways, so marshmakescomics@gmail.com. If you have any inquiries, thoughts, questions, conundrums, anything, just hit me up there. And now I will be connected to it and check it out. Let's see. Or as Dede says, don't email me. I think it's about time that I go and get my little drink in a minute. But I'm going to catch up with chat first. What is the comic project you're working on? It's a 4-page comic, I think. It's this. I wrote it. You know, it's like roughly written down, and it's going to be called either like Cave Comics or Comic Cave or Dave's Cave or something like that. I'm not sure yet what it's going to be called. I don't know if I want to really like say the story. Again, it's just a short comic, um, but there's 3 characters in it, and it takes place in a comic shop. So yeah, it's not super amazing imaginative, but I like it. And so yeah, I'm gonna get to possibly designing. I'd like to design the work on designing the store owner, um, and maybe both of the other characters as well. You know, we can brainstorm together, if you will. Um, so yeah. Anyways, we'll do a little bit of that here in a minute, very soon. So let's see. Mighty Geek Studios. Marshall just start a mini comic challenge. I know. Yeah, let's do one mini comic per day for the month of October. A 1 hour mini comic. I wonder what would happen if we did a 1 hour mini comic every day. I mean, it only takes an hour, you know. The 1 hour mini comic challenge. Maybe we'd like end up being really good at this. Like, I mean, after 31 days, you have to get some kind of skill, you know? Oh my gosh. That would just be like, it's weird because um, it seems so like overwhelming to think of that idea, but it's 1 hour. It's just 1 hour of your day. Can you spare 1 hour for 31 days in a row? I know one person who is in here Mr. Dave Hingley. I bet he'd kick butt on that challenge because he already does comics like a fiend. Um, Not a bad idea, Mighty Geek Studios. Not a bad idea. Pilot G-Tech C4 is a great ballpoint pen. I use them for finishing work too. Oh, really? I'll have to check that out. I mean, I just like regular ballpoint pens, but that doesn't mean that I'm not a pen fiend and don't want to try other ones. I'm definitely a pen fiend. So I'm writing it down, son. Writing it down. All right. Thank you for the recommend. And Michael Hing, not expensive either. Oh, cool. Cool. Yeah, mini comic challenge based on the list. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to get away from the list. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, that's not a bad idea actually. Monster Comics challenge. Oh my gosh. What am I getting myself into? All right, I'm gonna go take a quick 1 minute break and grab some a drink because I'm getting to the point where I need a drink. So I'll be back in like 1 minute. I got myself 2 drinks. Sparkling Adirondack water. Yum yum. All right. So here comes the ASR moment brought to you by DonkeyJawProjects.com. This is the sticker I was talking about earlier in the show that I couldn't find. It was right there under something. If you want to find out more about what I do, DonkeyJawProjects.com is the place to be. Oh, I was supposed to do that here. Oh well. And there's a link in the description. ASR moment, baby. It's fun. Why not? I always do the same thing though. I don't know. I like it. I like the ASMR moment. Probably everybody hates it. I bet I have. I bet that I've lost subscribers because of the ASMR moment. Sippy sippy. Anybody ever watch that girl, the Gator girl? What's her name? I don't know. There's this girl who does like crazy wild videos on YouTube, and she made a lot of money. Like she bought a house and stuff. Forget what her name is. Oh crap! Did I just do something wrong? Oh, I get it. Okay. Um, and yeah, my ex-wife used to watch her, and I would watch her too with her, and she was fun times. Anyways, let's see. Let's see. Thanks for the tip, Mike King. Yeah, that's funny. If you say Mike instead of Michael Hing, it sounds like my king, Mike King. Interesting. Daleb, what's up? Thanks for coming by and saying hi. I recently found Zebra Z-Grip ballpoints. They're pretty good. All right, writing it down. I like me some pens. Zebra. Of course, over there in the UK, you probably call them Bilo. Is it Biro? Something like that. I think you guys call it that when you talk about ballpoints. I'm probably doing it wrong, but yeah. And maybe I won't be able to find it here. That particular pen, I don't know. They're pretty good. Cool. I'm doing the 24-hour comics day challenge. Wait, 24-hour comics day challenge. Anyway, so why not? Oh man, that's the one I may never do. That challenge, we'll see. Barack, how you doing? No droplets on the page, hopefully. I already actually got some droplets on this page, but it's just thumbnails. Who cares? I'm not worried about it. I am the king. My king, Charles, has been usurped for a week. Oh, okay. Always get nervous when anyone pours anything over another important thing. Yeah. Is my art really that important? I don't know. But it's mostly, I mean, this is just a little sketchbook that's not really anything super important. So, but yeah, you're right. I should be nervous. I should be very nervous. So, yeah, I talked kind of about them as much as I really want to say about this particular comic, but character design. Character design is a tough thing to figure out, and I've had people ask me to do character design videos, and I've been tempted to try. There's a lot that can be said about character design for sure. Um, but it's it's kind of there are techniques, but it's like really what it comes down to, and I think when people ask the question, how do you do character design, it really actually just comes down to just doing a ton of drawings, and it takes a long time. um, you don't just like say, okay, I wrote this comic, now I'm just going to draw it. No, you got to spend like a good amount of time just working on the character design. You might want to spend months. Some people spend way longer than months, on character design. You might want to spend at least a week. I don't know. It depends on what you're doing. This many comics, sometimes I've done comics where I've done almost no character design. I just designed on the page, but you're going to get not as good results, when you do that, in my opinion, and from my experience. So there's just a lot to be said, I guess, for character design stuff. And one of the, you know, main ones is, um, oh, okay. So, sorry, I'm like typing things in because one of the main things is using reference. And so that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I probably should have prepared beforehand. Um, so I need to create a character who is a comic book shop owner or worker. He's an owner, but also I want him to kind of remind us of Gollum from like Lord of the Rings. So, I don't want him to be so like Gollum that I have like copyright issues, you know what I mean? But I want it to be like when people see it, they're like, they get what I'm trying to reference, type of thing. So there's that. So I have a comic shop owner that looks like Gollum, sort of. And then I have a couple, two characters, a guy and a girl. Um, and they're just gonna be like a cute couple, a normal, like, I don't know, like maybe 20s, late 20s, or something like that. Um, and they're not really comic book people. But they happen to be in a comic shop. But they're not. They don't have anything against comic books or anything. They just happen to find themselves in a comic book shop. Um, so I want them to just kind of look like a regular fun couple. So I'm thinking like the dude could either have like almost like a trucker hat, or he could be like more like have sports gear on or something. I don't know, like just a typical dude, who's not necessarily a comic geek, and then the girl will just be cute, whatever. I don't know what she'll look like. But I don't know, trying to figure it out. And one thing that's kind of weird is like trying to design normal people. It's easier to design like goofy characters, like cartoon characters sometimes, and like comic book characters and like superheroes and stuff, because you can kind of get more wild with it and stuff, and more creative, I guess. But I think it really takes, um, I don't know. I have a hard time with normal people. I have a hard time drawing like people in suits and stuff, which this kind of, particular story doesn't call for that. But and then keeping them on model, that's another thing. Like when people ask me like about character design, I mean, I've designed a lot of characters in my life, but and I think I've come up with some pretty cool designs. But really, it really comes down to hard work and just iteration. Just keep making different versions of it until you've, settled on something you like. And if this is going to be like a substantial work, and let me get a picture up here and I'll sketch while I'm talking. And it's just going to be like, I'm literally just going to be drawing Gollum a little bit and that's another thing. If you're using reference, you know, just draw that reference a bit and then iterate off of that and try to do something new and different. So, you know, try to get this gesture in here, kind of the typical Gollum look type of thing. So, and it's good to draw like the direct actual thing from the reference if you want. You can kind of start with that, but then, start trying to make it your own. So I don't want like copyright things, but I do want to start off with the idea of Gollum. Um, so let's see. What else can I say? There's so much to say about character design. Like it has to do with like shape. Shape is a really cool tool to use. Um, Actually, proportion, playing with different proportions. Um, and everything like the temptation with character design, I think, is like to uh, trying to come up with something like original and stuff. And the truth is that there's nothing new under the sun, and you can be relatively original, but everything comes from something, you know. You kind of, you draw characters to look like, even like have like human, like they almost look like a human, but they're a creature, because we know what humans look like, so we go with that, and then we iterate and make something a little bit different than human, but it's still kind of got, you know two arms and two legs and stuff, and you might do the same with like an animal or something. So depending on the animal, it'll have different kind of features and stuff. And it's just there's so much that can be said, and there's like a lot of techniques. Probably the first one I always think of is the silhouette technique. Having your character having a great silhouette that is recognizable. um, and I feel like that's a little bit further down in the process, although some people start with that part of the process. I feel like, what am I going to do with a silhouette yet? Like, I don't even, there's so much I don't know about the character yet. Like, I don't know that a silhouette is something that will be helpful for me to start with, but it is kind of, because the thing that's interesting about starting with a silhouette is, you're just thinking about like the overall shape. And sometimes, a lot of times, it's better in so many different disciplines. It's better to work from big to small, and I don't know, you can get further with that sometimes. So I guess I do understand why people use the silhouette method early on, but it's just not something I felt super comfortable with, you know, um, when I've tried it. So yeah, I don't know. And right now, like I said, I'm drawing Gollum, and I think the thing that I need the most is the face. I don't know, maybe even just like the way he stands. And of course, I'm using the movie reference because I mean, there's it was such the Peter Jackson film was done so well. Like, why not use that as the reference? It's so good. Um, so things I'm noticing now is like his ears are down lower, on the head than it's more cartoony. It's more like childlike in some ways. It's more down on the head than a typical where the ears would lie on a typical human face. Uh, he's got like the bugged out eyes, and they're kind of close to the nose, sort of. I mean, I don't know if I'm actually not drawing it that close to the nose, so I don't know. But and they're like sunken into his skull type of thing. So these are just little aspects of things that you kind of notice as you're drawing. And this is more just studying, like, what are the things that make Gollum like, um, and that's just kind of what I'm doing here. He only has like not a lot of teeth type of thing. Like, these are all aspects I can maybe bring into my character design. Maybe not all of them, but and then he's got like that, stringy. It's like he's a metalhead who's lost all his hair, type of thing. So he's got this stringy like hair that's barely even, it's the comb over of metalheads type of thing. Uh, and he's very like observing his character from the movies and the books and stuff. He's got this kind of very often actually cheerful vibe, but he goes from one extreme to the other, like from cheerful to treacherous, you know so there's a lot to kind of gain from just studying the character and drawing and thinking about it while you're drawing him. And it's almost like he looks childlike, but he looks old. He's got wrinkles, he's because he's been in caves and stuff and like rotting away basically, in his obsessions, and if you know the story, obviously he used to be a hobbit and he got greedy, and the ring changed him and stuff, and he's almost like a drug addict. He's almost like somebody strung out on drugs, so there's that aspect as well. So yeah, there's just so much, like, and when you start thinking about that, then you can start thinking about your own character and being like, okay, how do I what elements do I maybe try to play on, and which elements do I veer away from because it's really not where I'm trying to go with my story. Um, I probably won't have the comic store owner have his shirt off. For one, I mean, I like the hunched nature of like how he's always kind of, hunched over and brooding a lot of times, but he can also be like quick, if he needs to be. Um, how some of the lesser emotions kind of rule him, you know. There's just a lot to it, really, when it comes down to it. And I could just start off by drawing, trying to do the character. That's fine too. Another cool way to go about character design is to say, like, in general, like, that the character is going to be like, say, a superhero type, or it's going to be a woman and she's going to be short or something, or it's going to be whatever, like whatever the kind of relative proportions are probably going to be, you can start with that proportion and draw like a template, and Scott Cirkworks, he has a cool comic artist toolkit thing where he has some of those templates already created, and I've used them in some of my character design. And you just repeat that template like throughout a page like 10 times, 5 times, however many times you feel like it. But and then like lower the opacity if you're doing it digitally or something, or you can maybe trace it in pencil or blue pencil, non-repo blue. And you know then you can draw over the top of those different iterations and ideas of what the character might be. And again, reference really helps. Like, I go to Pinterest a lot of times for clothing reference and stuff. There's probably so many, there's tons of reference. Like, excuse me. Ugh, I'm a little bit tired. Work is just tiring these days. But luckily, I did get out on time today, and I was able to be relatively on time here at this episode. um, and I'm just doing scribbly drawings here of Gollum, just to kind of get some ideas. But like, you start to get better and better at finding reference online. Like, you don't really want to use, like, when you look up something on Google, you don't want to use the first thing you see, because everybody's used that, or even really if you go deeper into the pages, you might not find much that's good. So it's tough. Google is almost not really a great reference place sometimes anymore. Um, so there's that. And let's see. Like I said, I like Pinterest a lot, but I don't have like the skills like some people have. Like, I was talking to Nathan, and he does, professional illustration, freelance work and stuff like that. And he was saying like, man, I have like a morgue file, digital morgue file, which is something, if you don't know what a morgue file is, it's something that, uh, before the internet, people used to do. They'd have file cabinets full of clippings of magazines and, whatever it is that they get, or just magazines in general, and just anything they could find that would they think would one day come in useful as a reference, and then they categorize it and use it, And I kind of had that, or even just reference books. There's all kinds of visual reference books out there in the world. And I was showing off some of that stuff that I found relatively recently as well, and so I think he was talking about he has, some of that kind of thing digitally, but also, you just get to know different sites you can go to that have the type of stuff you could use, and there's plenty of resources out there that maybe aren't even meant as artist resources, but they're still, whatever it is that you're trying to draw, there's probably some kind of community around it. So I don't know. I don't know all the techniques. I wish I knew some more places to find good reference for things. Like I said, I don't really like creating normal people or drawing comics with normal people in general. Like, I want fantastic elements and stuff, but I tend to write stories. I've written a lot of stories with kind of normal people, so it's like it's really unavoidable. Like, even if you are writing like some fantastical story or whatever, um, there's still going to be normal people involved in the story, most likely. So so you sort of can't get away from it to a certain extent. Um, but you know, there's ways to, especially with like cartooning and stuff, like cartoony techniques. like I think I'll probably, if I do draw normal people, it'll always be like in a relatively cartoony kind of vibe because I just don't want to draw them just straight. I do like to do that just as fun, like reference, kind of like what I'm doing right here, just literally drawing from reference. Because I like that as learning. It's almost meditative to me to just draw from reference and try to get something to look like what you're looking at, and get into little details and all that stuff. I do enjoy that, but I can't do that with a comic. When with a comic, you have to repeat the character over and over again. So you want to come up with a design that works. And one thing too that's interesting to note about character design and just even just drawing from reference is you know, like say you want to draw a picture of, a famous celebrity or something. Well, I don't know if, I'm sure a lot of you have tried that. Most of the people in my audience are also artists or creators and stuff. And I wouldn't be surprised if most of you have tried that. And the funny thing is you've seen the movies with these actors. You know what they look like. They have certain mannerisms. They just have a certain look about them. But then you go try to look up a photo reference of them, and their photo kind of doesn't look like them. It's weird. It's such a weird thing. And it just doesn't have that, like, say you're trying to draw Robert De Niro. It doesn't have that like Robert De Niro-ness to it. You see it more when you see them in action and you see all the different movements of their face. I feel like, at least personally, I noticed that. I don't know if you guys do ever. Um, but so you got to almost find a photo reference that almost caricaturizes, it does the version of them that they usually look like. And there's only so many of those, so you're there you go, you're limiting your possibilities again, and and it can get kind of hard, when it comes to reference. But anyways, that's just kind of a side note. So let's see, what else can I talk about when it comes to character design? I'll check out the chat soon. I'm sure you guys have some interesting comments in there. Feel free to let me know any thoughts you have on character design. Like I said, I'm trying to design somebody who would harken back to Gollum and make you feel like, anybody who's watched Lord of the Rings or read the books might look at it and be like, oh, I get what he's doing there. There's this, kind of Gollum-like theme to it and whatnot. So, yeah. All right, let's see the chat here. Biro is a brand, but pilots are another brand that are far better and have different types of ink to Biro. You can do shading with Biro, though, not with Pilot. Latter is great for line work. Okay, that's interesting. When I hear, people in the UK talk about Biro, I just always think ballpoint pen. So let's see. A tip on character design from Michael Hing. If you're thinking about nationality, if one of your characters is, for example, Greek or Chinese or Korean, look up example Greek phenotype, phenotype, or Chinese phenotype. Okay, I've never heard of that word, so I'm writing it down. And so that's more for nationality, you're saying? That's a good tip, man. That's definitely something I didn't know. Let's see what happens when I Google the word phenotype. And then I'll put in Chinese phenotype. Since that's the example you put, I'll put it in just to see. The set of observable characteristics of an individual resulting from the interaction of its genotype with the environment. Huh. Interesting. Never heard that word. And I'm looking it up, and yeah, there's images and stuff. I don't know. Interesting. Huh. All right, well, thanks for the tip. Dave Hingley says, for Gollum, put the guy in shorts closest to a loincloth. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Would contrast nicely with the trucker hat and plaid shirt aesthetic. Ooh, plaid shirt. Plaid shirt. I hate. I've created characters with plaid shirts before, and they're not fun to draw. But I sort of like it though too. I kind of think it would be cool to have the girl wearing a plaid shirt. Um, I kind of always like it when girls wear like guys' clothes sometimes. Not like all the time. I like it when they wear girls' clothes, but like when they have like one element, from their boyfriend or something. There's something cute about that. Let's see. And that would work really good in this story, actually. So cool. I think I'm getting an idea with that. We'll give it a shot. The other comic guy, he could look like the guy from Office Space that says, "Where's my stapler?" Fishbowl eyes behind a pair of glasses. That's not a bad idea. Let me look that guy up. It's been a while since I've seen. I have an image in my mind of what he looks like, but Office Space stapler. Do you have my stapler? Oh yeah, with the mustache too. And he's got the red hair and all that fun stuff. That's a good idea. I like that. Well, maybe we'll play with that as well. That's cool. Let's see, where are we at here? For human reference, how about for human reference, how about Mackenzie Crook? He's almost unnaturally thin. All right, let's see. I don't know who that is for sure, but maybe I do, and I just don't know that I know. Where are we at? All right. Kenzie Crook. Yeah. Actor. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I know this dude. Interesting. Interesting. He's in The Office, the UK version. Okay. Oh, The Detectorists. I love that show. Most people, that's like a weird show that probably, I mean, maybe people in the UK, I don't know if it's popular in the UK or not, but I watched it on Netflix years ago, and I like that show a lot. It was a pretty neat show. Even the other guy too in that show, Toby Jones, he's kind of got a funny look to him. Actually, he could make a good Gollum. Actually, oh, I might have to draw him. I feel bad saying somebody could make a good Gollum, but let's do it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. He's got a different shaped head than Gollum, but there's something about him that's definitely very Gollum-like. And one thing too, I've never really done, I don't know about you guys, but I've never tried to do like caricatures exactly. Um, too much because I don't really like it seems like there's always that certain style of caricature a lot of times, but there actually isn't, and you could get creative with it. But my tummy's making funny sounds. Okay, I already ate though. And I think proportions are a big deal in caricatures and also like face shape. you know? And that I think also, relates to to character design as well. So interesting. It's so weird. He's got like almost small eye holes or whatever, like eye like openings, but at the same time he looks like his eyes are bugged out a little bit sometimes, like when he smiles. This dude, what's his name? Toby Jones. Yeah, that was a cool show, The Detectorist. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I remember enjoying it. Kind of a chilled out, laid back show to a certain extent, but it was interesting. I kind of forget what even happened. I feel like were they like finding bodies, like they were doing like the metal detector thing. I don't know. Yeah, there was just like a really chill vibe like to that show. It was cool. I don't know. It was very different though. Like definitely not anything. I almost don't know why I ended up watching it, but when I did, I was like, I don't know what it is about this show, but I like it. Um, and I've seen both of these guys in different movies too, for sure. Just don't always know which ones. He's got like a serious forehead, this guy. You gotta definitely emphasize that. And then it seems like the bottom part of his face is like smaller, especially if we're gonna kind of almost caricature it. He's got a very caricaturable face. I feel bad, like, because it's like it's not probably something you want to be said about you. But hey, it is what it is, friends. It's funny when people sometimes they have a smile, but like they're not like they're not doing the typical like the thing, you draw a smiley face, like this. Obviously, everybody knows about drawing smiley faces. And this curve goes up, like it's like this curve, but people smile and it doesn't necessarily have that curve. So I'm trying, he's in this picture, he is smiling, but it's more the cheeks, like how the cheeks look, that makes it look like he's smiling, and I'm not going to do it well. I'm already kind of messing it up, but oh well, it is what it is. But I think it's kind of there, but the point is really to do the study, to study the face. And again, his ears are seem a little lower, proportion wise. You push it a little bit more, and you got Gollum. But he's got hair that's going out like this, and just a little bit on top and stuff, type of thing. So it's not that far in some ways. And again, also like he's older, a little bit older, but he's got like also like a child shaped face, like the Gerber baby or something, which is kind of funny how that works. Some people just have that kind of face, I guess. And he's got the beard, the like, um, what do you call that? When people are like, they're not fully like shaven. It's like there's a thing, and I can't think of words for some reason. But it's just the stubble is there. And that is interesting too, because when they have almost like a baby type of face, um, and he's like one of these guys who has like, their chin kind of just gets kind of sucked into the neck, really. I mean, maybe he's not so much like that, but from this front view, it almost looks like that. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting when you really start to like observe faces and kind of put it into words, you know? It's kind of a fun exercise even just to do that. And that would be actually another tip that's useful for character design that I've done in the past, which is before you even draw anything, and I didn't do that this time, but it can be certainly helpful. Before you even draw anything, write stuff like it's better it's I think it's kind of better to have written the character and you know the character in writing already before you know try to draw it. But I mean, you could go the other way too. The other way is fine as well, you know. But um if you're trying to design for a story, you know, and you already have the description, you can either write like the description down, um or just like write some notes about what you visually are trying to accomplish. um write words next to where you're going to draw, and and like attributes, like even physical attributes or whatever, that kind of gives you a cue in on what you're trying to do. And I don't know, I find that helps like focus things and stuff. So yeah, just different tips that come up. That's the thing, is like I could almost I have enough like material from learning how to do it myself where I could actually do like a little mini course if I wanted to, but it's not like I'm excellent at it either necessarily. It's just that this is things I think about and sometimes pull off. So yeah, that's Toby Jones. I actually have written notes before. Let's see if I could find them super quick in my notes thingy. Do 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 do. Where's the search thingy? There it is. Character design. Oh, I even came up with a 7-step guide. Ooh. Idea stage. Write what you know so far. This is probably, I was planning on doing like a video or a series or something at one point. Yeah, I said some of these things already. Oh yeah, collecting imagery. Like collect a bunch of imagery and try to mix and mash it up. Do photo mashups and stuff, and then just start playing with shapes of things that are around where you want to go with your design. Play and iterate with proportions. Big one. Shape language is a good one. Like with Gollum, there's a lot of little round shapes and one big round shape, and then there's little round shapes. There's a variation of the round shapes, but then there's also the spindly, legs and arms and stuff. So there's a nice contrast between the spindly stuff and the round shapes and stuff, which is interesting. Silhouette, costume, proportion, accessories, style. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I was. I think I've tried to do this video a few times, or I've tried to come up with a plan to do these videos a few times. Um, and then once you do have like something that's close to the design you think you like, repeat the character in different scenes and gestures until you've modified the details and gotten comfortable with the design. Um, and if something's not working, repeat the other steps. I feel like I've had even more notes before than this. Um, the proportion rule. This is another interesting thing. Do I have it here? Um, what's his name? Steven something. I think it's written on here. Steven Silver. I bought this from him. He makes these like to order, like and if you look at character design, there's like this proportion thing where it's like big, a big part and a small part, like, and it's kind of like it shows you like what an appealing design is. So even here, like you can tell, like his face has a certain interesting appeal. There's like this section and then this bigger section type of thing. You know, and it just happens to be that this actually works. Like if you kind of use these specific almost proportions, and you'll look at like really good character designs that have lasted the test of time, and you can see some of these proportions. And this is, it's not really the best to do it against this. It's better to do it like on actual characters, which I could do maybe. I don't know. Like I liked this bird character in Mulligan's Run. Let's see if he passes the Steven Silver proportion test. There's definitely some parts where he's just standing there. You know, hopefully they're big enough because this thing only goes so big. This is kind of okay enough, but like, so you got, yeah, he's kind of got it going. Small head and then like the bigger torso. Yeah, he's kind of got it. And if you had the whole, here's a small, this maybe is, it's harder to do because it's smaller, but even this character though is pretty good. You got his torso and his legs are longer, and it kind of works. There's always like that little, and I, these designs are really good, so it's actually pretty cool examples here. Even this monster here, you got, kind of a little bit smaller legs, and then the torso is bigger. Even though the legs are long, he is a tall, monster, but it's just playing with proportion and using that. I forget there's like more terms for this, but yeah, I bought this years ago because I was like, that's kind of brilliant, actually. I never really use it, to be honest, but just thinking in those terms will help you to make better character designs, I think, in almost intuitively. You don't want everything to be the same size. I've seen Jake Parker talk about this too. Like if you design like a gun, you know, you don't want every section to be the same, about the same size. It's like boring. What you want more is like, some variation. So medium, large, and small or something. It makes it more interesting. I don't know, like this, I'm not doing, a good example of it, but it's good to have like, say this is the medium, this is the large, and then this is the small. That looks more appealing than if they were all the same size or something. I don't know. I'm not necessarily good at doing it, but yeah, I don't know. These are things to think about. Let's check the chat again. Oh, sorry, I had this comment up for so long. Another character to look at, Nosferatu, as played by Max Schreck. Yeah, a totally good idea, for sure. Michael Hang, David Hingley. I know. I sometimes I think that too. Like, hey, they have a similar name. Ordered my pens for Inktober. Thanks again. Oh, awesome. So we got the people making suggestions, people getting help here. That's awesome. The wrestling chick Tamara, what is up? Hello from Detroit, Michigan. Hello, hello. Thanks for coming by. Let's see. Acid Lace, what's up? Videos can be better for better reference because it captures energy and personality better than stills. Yes, I agree. I agree. Peter's here. What's up, Peter? Empyrean Vol. Bubbles from the Trailer Park Boys. Ah, yes. There's so many characters that really would help with that. Oh, so you've seen Detectorist. Cool. cool, man. That's cool. It's been a long time, but Michael Hang, love the Detectorist too. New episodes soon. Oh, awesome. I have to catch up probably. I saw maybe like the first two seasons. I don't know. Or maybe there was one season. I don't even know. Incidentally, the Office Space guy is called Milton. He starred in an early short film of the same name by Mike Judge. Oh, okay. That's also interesting. One character had a girlfriend and the other guy had like a terrible ex. Okay. Yeah, I sort of remember that. That sounds familiar. Oh, we got adult websites coming in. Where's Dee Dee when I need her? Block user. um, let's see. Looks like you're being spammed. Yep. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't see it yet until now. Empyrean Bull, also known as Peter Seckler, says one trick I like is to make characters for a role playing or online game and then sort of try and make it into a story character. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people use role playing games in general, just even to create story, to create characters. Like, what a that's like a fun idea. I even like just the idea of using, ran, like random generators or like just using dice, rolling the dice on different things and seeing what comes up and then just trying to create a character from that. Um, Lots of cool ways to go when it comes to character design. So let's see what else. The Wrestling Chick Tamara, I've been watching your videos about creating a mini comics. I'm actually working on my first comic book and drawing again after not drawing for some years. I know it won't be perfect, but why not? Hey, you're preaching the gospel. That's what I say. Totally agree. That's how it works. And good luck with what you're doing, Tamara. Um, is it a wrestling comic? Hello from Grand Rapids, Michigan. What's up, Paul Pate? Paul Pate was on. Was it the last episode? Why not? No, 2 episodes ago, something like that. What's up, dude? Are you feeling better? You had a cold last time. Oh, you know what's weird is I made his eyes, but I didn't like color him in, and he looks like so funny. I mean, I'm not really even using the reference here. I'm just kind of. I think he looks even worse now that I've colored him in. Maybe I should just like fully color them, or maybe I'm making it worse, even worse. That's a little slightly better. So, oh boy. Let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah, we blocked that person. The spam bot. Let's see what else we got. Sadly, I'm not sure I can stay up much longer, so think I'm calling it a night. Night all. Thanks for hanging out, Michael. Get some good rest, and I hope you have a wonderful day tomorrow. Do do do. Feeling frisky, Marsh. That's good. That's good to hear. That Toby Jones came out spot on. Hey, thanks, man. That's a super creepy dude. What's up, Christopher Parrish? All right, so yeah, I don't know. So it's good to kind of start with some reference. Now, the thing is you can get lost in this. That's the problem. That's the thing I don't love about character design, about world building. You can just spend forever designing things and coming up with the world and all that stuff. And I feel like it's not even that important. It's not really that important, honestly. The story is what you need to get right. You get the story right, and the designs don't even have to necessarily be great. So, um, you know, but it is fun to be in a world where the designs are cool for sure. Um, so, so yeah. All right. So now the only problem is when you start drawing from reference, then you got to go to like, I'm doing like this representational stuff, and and now I want to do some more designy, cartoony stuff, and it can be a challenge almost. So let's see. So I mean, there's like kind of the typical like Gollum hunch type of thing going. So I want him to be a comic store dude. And here, we had Gollum's eyes were down here. So let's see. He's going to be a grumpy dude because most comic store owners are grumpy sometimes. So I'm contemplating giving him like a little silly hat, but I do want him to have like stringy hair and stuff. But I think the little silly hat will like differentiate him from like I so badly want to put like a little pinwheel up there, but I'm not gonna. Um, I do want to do. I'd really like to do a cartoony thing too, but like relatively cartoony. I don't know. We'll see how cartoony it gets. He can kind of have no chin, sort of. That's kind of fun. He's kind of sneering at people out of the side of his eye. Um, but I do kind of want to give him like that stringy hair a little bit, like somehow bring that funny stringy hair in. So I think that would be cool. Like he's just always working and trying to make things work. I don't know. But this is like not quite what I'm looking for. But that's all right. Like you go through the first iterations and they're not supposed to be, the best. And a lot of times your first iterations are too on the nose. It looks too much like Gollum. What kind of clothes would he wear? Maybe like like a shirt with a collar, but it's like all like it's wrinkly or something. I don't know. And probably some kind of geeky t-shirt underneath. I don't know. Scrawny arms for sure. Could even be like a sweater shirt, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it is going to be kind of cold in there, so a sweater would be appropriate. Like that's part of the story that it's cold in this place, this comic shop, and he's going to be kind of hunched over his computer. Because I don't know about you, like sometimes I go into comic shops and the guy, the person who's there, especially if it's like the comic shop owner, like they barely even look up at you. They're like, "Hey," or whatever. They might not even say anything to you. If you try to engage them in conversation, they're just like, yeah, yeah, whatever. Like they're not into it. They're probably looking up the prices on eBay or something. I don't know, like, um, or maybe they're just sad and they don't, I could have his elbow kind of coming out. So this is kind of something. I mean, it's not exactly where I want to be, but It's something that's kind of getting the vibe. I think this guy looks too young though. Like the long hair makes him look young, maybe for some reason. I mean, I suppose I could put more wrinkles on his face, but I don't think that's going to do it just by that. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not drawing him sitting because it's hard to draw sitting. And then I want like to create like a cutesy couple too. I should write down some of the ideas. Girl wearing flannel. I want to say the guy had like a trucker hat on for some. Like I almost want to even have him have like a hat that just says truck, which is so silly and stupid, but I don't know. That was my first idea. Guy with trucker hat. They got to be like people who are like sort of normal people, but they don't like they look out of place in a comic shop, but they're delighted to see one. They've never been in one, type of thing. They're just happy they went and saw a movie, and the guy mentions, "Oh, some dude from work told me that movie was actually from a comic book." And I haven't read comic books in years, type of thing. And then they happen to see one, and so they go into one. Um, and so that's kind of where the characters I'm trying to do here. Another thing I wanted to talk about too was serialized comics. So we're gonna dip into that topic a little bit here because I've said a bunch about character design. I'm not the expert on it or anything. I've learned a lot. I've made a lot of characters. And if you have any thoughts or questions on character design, we can keep going back and forth between the two topics a bit. That's fine. And as I'm trying to draw these characters and stuff, I can mention other things that I think of, but I think we'll start dipping back into the serial or start actually, we didn't even start yet, the serial comics thing because I think that's an interesting topic. I was talking to my buddy Fue about it today a little bit, and I don't know. I think it's something really neat. So we'll get into that as after I check out chat here. Let's see. Wrestling Chick Tamara says, actually, it's a supernatural detective story. I do have a pro wrestling comic book series screenplay that I want to make into a comic. That's cool. I don't know if you're aware, Tamara, is it Tamara or Tamara? Um, I don't know if you're aware, there actually is a decent amount of wrestling comics, even recently. There's what's that guy's name? He did Murder Falcon, um, and other many. He did Extremity. Um, I love his art. I can't think of his name, but he's doing a wrestling comic called Power Bomb, I think, right now, and it's freaking. I mean, I haven't read it, but it just looks so good. I want to read it. I'm not really a wrestler, like super into wrestling, but like I know a lot of people really are. But that comic looks really cool. Um, yeah. So good luck on that. That sounds cool. Supernatural detective story. I'm in. Let's do it. I wanna check that out. Dede, yay, still drawing. Yes, still drawing. How you doing, Dede? Dede, I showed off some things earlier that I wanted to show while you were here, but I'll do it again. And by the way, Dede's link is in the description. We did put it in the chat earlier as well. Her videos are 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Mondays and Wednesdays. So check it out. This is a drawing that Dede did of me many years ago, 2014, according to the signature. And yeah, I love it. Like, we see Dede in these comments all the time. Even watching her videos, you don't always see her do actual drawings. A lot of times she's doing coloring or craft stuff, but she's a really good artist and knows how to get good likenesses. And this is just one of the many proofs of that. Me doing a silly face, and it looks like me doing a silly face. I like it. So I always love this thing that she sent me many years ago for Happy Mail, and then also once again, Janet sent me this make me a sandwich card. It's a robot man card, and it's really cool. And she did some drawing on the actual mail, which I can't show because it's got addresses on it, but that was really cool too. So thank you, Janet, once again, if you do watch this. So yeah, we got that going on. Let's see what else. The other comic guy, my local shop sucks. I have like a bunch of shops, and there's a bunch of shops in Connecticut. Um, so I kind of go from one to the other and stuff. And there's some in Massachusetts and things too. Um, my local shop sucks. The owner is rude and doesn't ever order anything good, only if you pre-order. But what's the fun in that? Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've seen good ones and I've seen not so good ones. And it's unfortunate that more often than not, sometimes it seems like they kind of don't know what they're doing, and they cater to just the collectors who have been collecting for their whole lives, and they don't even bring anybody new in, and they don't try creative things. I mean, I've many times fantasized about owning my own comic shop and doing it right, but what do I know? I'd probably have a hard time too. So Dede trying to remove the spam, but I think Marsh already did. Yeah, yeah, I was able to earlier. Let's see what else. Christopher worked out my first 32-page story a month ago. All thanks to you, brother. Aw, thanks. I appreciate that, man. That for the props. Uh, and you did the work, man. You did the work. So that sounds awesome. It's a day in the life like you suggested as an option during your first mini comics video. Oh wow, that's so cool. That's awesome. um, do you have like a place, like a link almost or whatever, where you can find that stuff? Or did you publish it? Like, it'd be cool to see some of what you did, or maybe there's like an Instagram or something that shows some of it. That'd be cool, man. But congratulations, man. That's so awesome. Let's see. What else? What else? Dede says, hope everyone is doing well because she's awesome. Let's see. You haven't streamed in a while, Adam. Hope all is okay. Last I heard, and I'm sure he updated you guys, but like he's just been busy working on his projects and stuff, and doing some things. So I think last I heard he was okay. He's just busy doing some stuff, which is nothing wrong with that, right? Seven, what's up? Greetings, Marsh, Dede, chat. Yes, story of comic book shop owner like Gollum looking for that one comic on eBay. His precious. Yes, you're thinking. Now you're thinking where my head's at. For sure. Do a power bomb. Yeah, is that the name of it? It's actually do a power bomb. Oh boy. Yes, many years ago. Yep. Yeah, I know, right? She's good at the arts for sure. Let's see. Thanks for sharing. Anytime, dude. Or yeah, the ambiguous gender. Gender which shall not be named. Seven. First man card by Dede of Marsh. Oh, The other comic guy. Put it down. Yes. There you go. There's a man card for you. By Dede Willingham, 2014, copyright. That was a good one. I like that. All right. So let's get designing again. I don't know. See, this is the thing. It's like hard to like, sit here and design. Like design is something you kind of need. You probably need to concentrate a little more than I'm doing, but hey, whatever. Let's get real exaggerated with it. And really it's the face, it's the head. That's really the most important, you know. So, so yeah, serializing, that's another thing. So, a serialized story, it doesn't have to be comic books, but so I was just thinking like, what is some of the ways to really you know, make your kind of career, your work kind of thrive, instead of just kind of going by and getting some sales and stuff and getting some readers more importantly. Um, but how do you make it thrive, And I was thinking of some things, and I was talking about that with my buddy Fue, also known as Lucifer Storm. You should check out his YouTube channel. He's got awesome writing tips and stuff. Um, and I think he brought up the idea of serialized comics, which are stories really in general, and that's something him and I have talked about in the past, anyways. But excuse me. Um, it's almost like alien, like the head. I'm putting like huge eyebrows on him because why not? And that other guy from The Office had that mustache. Maybe I should give him like a scrawny little mustache. But again, I'm making him look too young. I want him. I think I want him to look a little older. And this doesn't look that creepy. This is not a good take of the idea yet, at least. Maybe if I have like parted right down the middle, that kind of thing, that would maybe do something. Because it's like that, it's like something that's too symmetrical is kind of creepy, Almost looks like the Adams Family guy, the father, a little bit. I don't know, maybe not, but that's what I started thinking about for a second there. He had that little hat too. Something about that little stupid hat maybe could be cool. But this just, yeah, this isn't really doing the trick for me. But it's another iteration. You got to just keep failing until you find the thing you like. And it might be good just to keep doing more heads. Like, let's just keep playing with these shapes and proportions. What if I put the ears more up, and made him have like a little chin, like kind of a triangle thing going on. There's a lot of different ways to do it. So anyway, serialized comics, like, so having something that people like expect, you know, um, to come out, like, say if I was doing like glyph or something, and it was like coming out on a relatively regular basis. But not only that, like, I think it kind of came up because I was thinking about the idea of like intellectual properties, like that I feel like is because I don't want to just like survive, making my creative stuff. I want to thrive, and I believe it's absolutely possible. It's not something that we see typically in the comic world, but sometimes. Um, but I think it's more than possible, you just got to be creative. You got to be maybe a little strategic, and I don't know, like, so anyways, um, the idea of like a serialized book, um, I love like Savage Dragon, like how that's gone for a long time and stuff like that. And the thing is when you have properties, and so there's a couple different ways to kind of go about things. Like you have like somebody like Stephen King who puts out all different kind of stories. Like he doesn't just stick with one creation. He comes up with a lot of different creations and stuff. And that's, especially when you're doing art, that's actually kind of hard um, to manage, because you have to go through this process every time you make a comic of creating a whole new world, creating new designs. What kind of what kind of what are these characters going to look like? You have to just keep creating, and when you're writing, maybe it's not so hard. Um, so, you know, but when you're making comics, it's like, so you have to try to do that, and I don't know, it's tough. That's what I've done so far, is make, you know, a new story every time usually. This guy looks so normal. See, it's not even easy. It's hard to like capture that kind of creepiness. Like this guy is, if he's creepy, he's not creepy in the way I'm going for. But I still feel like continuing to draw him for some reason. Just to complete the idea, I guess. So, and the thing is when you're doing this kind of iterative process, you'll start seeing like one thing that you like that you've done, and you'll repeat that, but you'll dis you'll discard the stuff that you don't like, you know. So, anyways, yeah. But if I feel like my efforts might be kind of a better use of my efforts if I were to do a series that could keep going on, like say James Bond or something like that, you know, and have these properties that have a life of their own, and you know, so not that that's easy. I feel like you have to really like spend some time developing a really good story, especially. And then you have to believe in it enough to keep doing it um, while before anybody has actually caught on, because you have to be the one who's like your biggest fan at first. And if you're not, then nobody else will. Nobody else is going to catch on and kind of raise the flag for what you're trying to do. It's kind of like The Walking Dead and Robert Kirkman. Nobody really dug the idea. He just had to keep doing it and doing it. And then eventually people caught on. Especially like the publishers and stuff. They were like, what are you even doing, dude? Um, so, you know, but it became something that had legs, and TV show and another TV show, and you know um, different kind of merch and all that kind of stuff. Events became huge. It revitalized the zombies genre. Zombies have never been so popular as they have since he started doing what he was doing. Um, So yeah. Um, I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, do you think about doing, kind of an ongoing story? And the thing is to create some kind of, I guess there's different ways to anchor people to that, like create a really cool character that people want to see how he or she interacts within all kinds of different scenarios. Or there's the thing called like a story engine, which is like this is how stories in this world work. I think a really good one is like murder mystery type of stories or whatever like that. Those are really great examples. Like, what is it called? It's like one of the most famous cop shows. But like, usually it's like, you start off at the crime scene, or at the, you see the crime kind of happen, or you start off right at the crime scene and then you go through the series of like trying to find stuff out, and there's a certain way that they find stuff out usually that makes this particular, you know story, or this particular series unique. There's like Monk, who, he's like obsessive about things, and then there's like, what's his name, what is it, I always use him as an example, but he like pretends like he doesn't know anything and he's kind of dumb. And then he kind of, in a sideways way, figures it out and solves the mystery or whatever. So, there's that kind of story engine type of thing. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm not at the level of being able to quite do that really yet. Um, but I think I want to get there. I mean, there's so many different ways to do it too, and you could do like just a monster of the month, but it's still the same character. We don't really do that in indie comics too much. It seems like we just kind of keep making new stories, and people don't necessarily latch on to them, you know. But I don't know if this is like the key to anything, because it's just one way to do things. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Just thinking about stuff, what my next steps will be eventually. And I'm always kind of brainstorming how to make this thing work. So let's see. Let's check out chat. Ooh, there's a lot of stuff. Do, 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 do. Where are we? Okay. Yes, man card. Yes. What do you think about tracing for reference? That's a whole other topic. We've talked about it many times. I think that whatever you need to do to make the illustration come through is relatively acceptable, but there are people out there who trace to an extent that I feel like is not acceptable, where it becomes plagiarism. And I tend to like artists who you get to see their hand in the art. I like artists that exaggerate things and take things at least slightly out of the actual proportion that you would see in a piece of reference or whatever. Like, I like expressiveness. So there's a lot of people out there who are just trying to make professional level comics, and they're leaning on reference more heavily than my tastes like, you know. But some people like that kind of thing, and I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with it. Um, Neil Adams is, I have nothing but respect for him as a creator, and he used reference more than most. He used a lot of reference. And then, the famous painter Norman Rockwell, like he used insane amounts of reference, but he was also expressive. You knew one of his paintings when you saw it, you know. So there's a real art to using reference, and if you are not doing that, then it's not my favorite. So yeah, but I don't have anything. I don't judge anybody for using reference, and I use it too. I trace stuff sometimes. I traced some cars for underdrawings in my last comic I made, or one of my last comics I made, and then I took away the reference, and then I just kind of drew my own car over the just the light shapes and stuff. And I don't know if I like that or not, but I tried it, and it did make that particular car that I drew better, you know, to a certain extent. But it's a fine line of where it's kind of feels okay and where it doesn't. And I think every artist is a little bit individual with that. Christopher says, not yet. I'm still working on the art, but it is on my Gab. Cool. All right. I look forward to checking it out whenever you start showing it. Um, Adam is dealing with some things, and yeah, I hope things go well, man, for you, Adam. Hope you start feeling better. The wrestling chick Tamara. Oh, she says, never draw anything you can copy, never copy anything you can trace, never trace anything you can cut out and paste up. Wally Wood. Yeah, that quote is thrown around sometimes, and you know, I'd take it with a grain of salt, though. I'd take that advice with a grain of salt, personally. Um, but hey, he is Wally Wood, you know. Nope, not no hot links, I guess. Okay, let's see. Marsh, I have been thinking about serializing a lot lately. I think with individual issues not doing as well, it is harder today to get stuff serialized unless it's online. Hmm. Yeah, it's harder and easier to do it, but you may not like make much of a dent. I mean, marketing anything is hard. It takes a lot of work, and you know, it takes luck. You know, it takes a lot of things. So it's tough, man. It's tough. I'm not going to argue with you on that one. That's for sure. But I think it's figure outable, personally. Maybe I'm too optimistic, though. I don't know, but I think it's figure outable. Let's see. Seven says, I'm writing and doing some character designs. This is a great subject for live stream. Thank you, Marsh. You're welcome. Also been thinking about manga format. Oh, I love playing with formats in general, but manga definitely as well. The way they essentially do serialization as entire books seems like a big part of success of manga. Yeah, anything we can learn from manga, I think, can help because they're the ones who are making the money in the world. And it's not about money. It's not all about money, but it's just I want readers. I want to make stuff that has an impact, and I have on a small level. But I'd like to my comics to really make an impact, and at some point, and I'd really like to just write some great stories, you know. And I don't know. So I like thinking about strategies of how to get these comics into people's hands. I'm still working on trying to figure out how to make a good comic book, though, too, at the same time. They're mainly doing a series of books versus a series of issues collected in a book. Yeah, I could see that. Oh, we got some tea coming here. Thank you. All right, got some nice warm tea. It's getting cooler out. Let's see. Dede says, oh, let's see. I think it's more about topics and subjects with manga. I think they have quirky ideas and they're not afraid to try everything. They also get there's a lot to be learned from manga. They also get like stories out weekly. They get large chunks of story out weekly, or relatively large, like 15 pages or something. You know, 12 pages of story out on a weekly basis, which is insane. If you've ever made a comic, even a small one, that's insane. They do have teams usually, so that's one thing, but they also work to unhealthy levels. So, a lot of times we throw around a lot of respect for mangaka. And if you don't know that term, it's just people who make manga. And if you don't know that term, it's just Japanese for comics. Um, we talk about that, like, a lot of respect for their work ethic, but honestly it's an unhealthy work ethic, and it's not the creator's fault necessarily. It's just the whole system, you know and they burn out pretty hardcore over there sometimes, and it's just not mentally, physically, emotionally healthy to work quite like that. It just isn't. But they're kicking our butts when it comes to selling comics. That's for sure. I'm thinking like Walking Dead series. Okay, yeah, yeah, totally. Yes, Columbo. Columbo is the one I was trying to say and couldn't think of. Columbo is such a awesome show. I love it. I want to watch more of it. Agreed. Marsh, be the biggest fan of your work and story. Keep at it till people discover you. Absolutely. And in some ways, doing 2 videos a week is also, that's like, while I'm working on figuring out the story I would like to serialize, I'm serializing my journey of trying to make this thing work, and serializing just the creative process and stuff. So, you can do it on many different levels. Let's see. I would love to do an ongoing story. I'm really enjoying this live stream. Oh, well, I'm glad you are. Thank you. Anything I could do to help, I'm happy to. Empyrean Vol, also known as Peter Sackler, says Ed Piskor often talks about the Red Room universe. It's like you have to kind of set the rules of the world up. At that point, the characters eventually start to fit in naturally. Yeah, I think that goes along with the story engine idea, and it's totally one way to serialize. I think another way is to base it around a specific character that people just really like, a la James Bond, or something like that. I want mine to have a serialized anthology feel like Rick and Morty, basically just building my own interstellar adventure. Yeah, I mean that's awesome too. There's a lot of different ways to crack this nut. Sideburns got it too. Columbo, yes, 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 yes. Thank you. Uh oh, we're tired. Okay, let's see. Comic guy left or is leaving, so thank you for hanging out. And we'll see you whenever. We appreciate you coming by and being part of the group. Adam says, just got Jeff Smith's new Tukey books. Didn't know he was doing new stuff. Cool. An interesting case comparing how he first started it as a web comic, collected as individual issues of comics a few times, then stopped and came back. I still haven't finished Bone. I got like a third of the way through or half of the way through and reformatted it as full length black and white books with no serialization. Interesting. Compared to Bone in the 90s, I don't think doing Bone as individual issues would work today. Didn't didn't he do individual issues of Bone? Yeah, I'm sure he did. But you don't think it would work today, huh? I think it would. Um, or could, potentially. Uh, the thing is people have such, you know, they have such divided attention spans, but maybe the help that we need is something that's more serialized, where you can get people like to get addicted to things. They want to get addicted to things. This is actually some stuff that Flay was telling me, and I agree with him um, today when I was talking to him. But people are, you're right, there are people who are doing like anthologies and stuff too. And Dan Klaus, Chris Ware, Charles Burns, all those guys stopped serializing. Huh. Good point about manga, I should say, also getting stuff out weekly, serialized in magazines. I think that is also a key to success of the format, which is also seen in Europe with comic anthology magazines. Yeah, I think anthologies is kind of an interesting way to go too. And that's another way technically to serialize without serializing, which is interesting. People come because they want to check out the serial anthology, and they stay for the wide variety of stories. So, how can I grow my audience? Says Graffiti University Comics. That's an interesting name. Um, Thanks for popping in. How can you grow your audience? Well, you grow your audience by putting out things, putting out work, putting out content, putting out art, and putting it out as far and wide as you possibly can. And then repeating that over and over and over and over and over again. I've done probably 900. I know it's over 800 because I've looked at the numbers a while ago, a long time ago, but I've probably done over 900 videos on this YouTube channel. Um, and that's not even a lot. Dede's done more. Dede's done a lot more than me. She's been doing it longer than me, and there's a lot of people who've done it longer than that. And, some people can do it quickly. It depends kind of on the quality, and if you hit the right, if you're able to hit like a trend or something that's really there's a lot of interest around. There's a lot of things that depend on this stuff to grow an audience. But when it comes down to it, put as much content as you can possibly put out without burning yourself out and going to unhealthy levels. I think that's the way to do it, really. Publish, publish, publish. Even if that just means like some focusing on one specific social media. To me, YouTube is kind of my place that I like the most, when it comes to that. But I wish I was doing more like TikToks, because that's jumping off and things like that. Instagram's kind of dying down a bit. Facebook's coming back a little bit. LinkedIn has some interesting chances of doing well. But really, the best thing to do is figure out what kind of thing do you like to make. I like to do videos. Some people like writing more, so they should focus on blogs, or some people just like to talk, so they should maybe focus on podcasts. Or you can do, if you're good at all of them, you could do all of them. It just depends on your bandwidth and your skill and just what you like to do. But share the process of you learning how to do what you do. Share the journey. That's what I do. I just kind of share the journey, and people seem to dig it. And then I also sometimes will give a little specific advice, encouragement, inspiration. That's kind of what my channel tends to be, more on the like, let's inspire people to make stuff type of thing. And people dig that. I mean, how don't we all need a pick me up sometimes? I know I do a lot. So, I enjoy spreading that kind of thing, and a lot of people reciprocate that right back to me. And there's just an energy circulating and a reciprocation that circulates, and it can be very natural. And do it, just to do good stuff, because that's the thing. If you're doing it to make money, if you're doing it even to grow, just to grow an audience, I mean, I want to do those things as well. But if you have to approach it first and foremost just because you love doing it, and you're trying to help people. Like, And if you can do that, the more people you help, this is, this is how to win friends and influence people 101. The more you help people, the more they'll want to reciprocate, and it's not a one-to-one thing. You don't go, I don't like, I'm a huge fan of like Rob Liefeld, which probably has caused a lot of unsubscribes from my channel. But just me saying that, but I'm a huge fan of Rob Liefeld. So, does that mean I go and start trying to do good things for him specifically? That is that is a technique that people do sometimes do. I'm not saying you can't do that, but like it's not one to one. It's just like spread it out to everybody. Like do help people, help, and somebody eventually will come around and help you back. And I don't know. It's just kind of this natural thing. And if you try to like focus on algorithms and trends, you can do that, but I personally feel like that's an empty way of going about it. I want to share my passion. I love people. I love um, making the things I make and sharing it, you know. And the internet is a good place for me to do that because I'm not actually a very social person in real life. I'm social enough, I'm not like, you know, super antisocial, but like I'm just not a super social person. But online, it's a comfortable place for me, and I've become friends with a whole lot of people and real friends too, not just like you know associates or something. Like real friends. A lot of the people in the chat have I've had real communication and contact with. Um, and so I don't know. That's how I do it. And I'm not I've got a long way to go, I'd like to have a career doing this. I don't. Some people assume I do, because they see my videos come out and they're like, "Oh, look, he's making stuff." Yeah, that's the 4 hours I get to make stuff during the week, like when I'm on these live streams sometimes, so I have a day job and it kicks my butt and I try to still make stuff every day as much as I can, but it's difficult. It's a challenge, and but when it comes down to it, yeah, it can be very natural. So hopefully that helps. Let's see. Yeah, Didi says over 100 videos, 3+ hours average in 12 years consistency. You have well over 100 videos. Yeah. Oh, 1,000. But yes, exactly. I was going to say, there's no 100 videos. You've done 100 videos in the last couple of years. And you've been doing it for 12 years consistently. Wow. I mean, honestly, Didi, I've been doing this for a few weeks, kind of similar format to you. Pretty much what would Didi do? That's what I've been doing. And, you know, sometimes I'm tired. Like last Tuesday, I happened to work 10 hours and I came in late and I was just a little too tired. Sometimes you got life stuff going on and it distracts you or something. Like it's not easy to just do this every, 2 times a week, but there have been lots of times where it's like, man, I have so much inspiration. I want to do a video every day. So you kind of go through those kind of funny phases too with it. The wrestling chick tomorrow. Oh my gosh, 900. I'm so behind. I only got six. You're not behind really because there are people who do 6 videos and they blow past someone like me. It took me way longer than it should have taken me because I've had so many stops and starts. My channel wasn't always about comics. It started off being about music, and then it was about comics, and then it was about designer toys, and then it was about graffiti stickers, and then it was about comics again, and then it was about music, and then like I just kept going. Like if I was consistently like Didi said, doing it consistently, um, over a period of time, her channel is doing great. I don't know 100% her numbers, but I know that she's doing pretty awesome. And she doesn't do any hard sales or anything. I don't know really a lot about what Didi does, but I know she gets commissions and she's got a lot of people who like to hang out with her on a twice a week. So that's really cool. Yeah, do what you love. Absolutely. Thanks for so much on the feedback. Anytime. And that particular topic is one I love to talk about all the time anyway, so so you kind of asked the right question. You're so right on the share the journey. I agree. Yeah, that's the way to do it, in my opinion. And if you're just sharing the journey, if you're sharing the failures and the growth and the lack of growth and all that stuff, I used to do one of the videos I used to do, it was a series was called uh the working artist vlog, and I literally did it almost every day. And I would just do a short video, 5 to 10 minutes, and talk about what I'm thinking about today, some of the comic ideas I have, the struggles I'm going through, and people enjoyed it. You could do just that, and it's a good way to get started at least. And people are interested in hearing people's stories and seeing that it's not always easy and all that stuff. It's really encouraging, when you see that. So yeah, Dede says helping others. Exactly. That's what it's all about. Inspiring, encouraging, teaching. Yep, all that good stuff for sure. Dede says you do awesome, Marsh. I don't have another job like you do either. So there we go. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, it's hard to do it when you have another job, like that too. So, but you can. That's the thing, is you can. Like, if you have a day job, you can make it happen. I've been doing it for many years. It's all about what you prioritize in your life. And, if it's something important to you, then find a way to do it, at least on a small level. Like I said, I used to do like 5 to 10 minute videos, you know, I've done 100 Days of Making Comics many times, and shared the process along the way of that. Um, you know, and you can do this on same thing on TikTok. You could do the same thing on other platforms, Instagram, whatever, whatever thing you really like to do. But there are some that are doing well, and some that are kind of slowing down. Like Instagram's kind of slowing down. TikTok is doing great right now. You can get more traction on some than others, but it's more important that you do the thing that you feel comfortable with and what resonates with you, so you don't burn out. Same thing with making videos. There's a lot of different kind of videos that do better than live streams like this. This is kind of the slow burn version of doing YouTube videos. One thing is it does get a lot of view time, which is important, and it cultivates a community. But if I tomorrow release something like talking about some of the things I was talking about tonight, and I plan to, but if I release a shorter video of just me doing art, talking about one of these topics in a shorter format, um, that video will do much better, as far as how many views it gets. And there's nothing wrong with doing that too. Here's one quick tip as far as when it comes to YouTube videos, especially because YouTube has this thing where it's like it respects, it's really a huge search engine. So it kind of helps evergreen content. Like, if you have something that's a question that somebody will ask today, that somebody would have asked 5 years ago, that somebody will ask 5 years from now, you got an evergreen topic that you just hit on. And if you can do it well, and do it in a way that people enjoy it, like for me, how to make your first comic is the one that most people found me from. And it's an evergreen topic, and it just keeps bringing in more subscribers, bringing in more views, all that stuff. And it's been the thing that's made my channel work more. But the thing is this is the quick tip, is just answer simple questions. What are questions that people might ask, or people have asked, and share your version of the answer to that? Because that's what my how to make your first comic was. That was just my answer. There's much better ways to answer that. There's people who've done like this whole, like, from A to Z, like, this is how you make your first comic, and those are really valuable videos too. Mine was focused on, don't don't let yourself get too overwhelmed. There's a lot of easier ways to do it. One of those ways is a mini comic, and I shared mini comics at the beginning of this video because I know how, I mean, that's how I started making comics, was mini comics. And I still am kind of on that path doing mini comics and anthology, small stories, and things like that. Hopefully, I'll get to a point where I have a character that catches and I turn it into a serialized comic, and then maybe that will have more extra legs and stuff. Siri is listening to me now, which is annoying. I don't know why it suddenly started listening to me. But anyways, you know, but the thing is, and kind of back to that topic, which is really kind of funny that I'm coming around to that. But we were talking about anthologies, and doing anthologies is actually, that's how the most famous serialized comics came about. Superman was serialized in Action Comics with other stories. Batman was an anthology first, and then it became its own comic. Spider-Man was in another one. Doctor Strange. There's a lot of these like characters who came out of anthologies first, but once it hits, then you're like, okay, now I know I have a character that people resonate with. Let's go. Let's double down on that and turn it into a serialized thing. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do, I guess, or what I'm leaning towards at least. So let's see. Adam Lore says about serializing some more. Consider how Netflix releases an entire season of Stranger Things or Tiger King all at once versus one episode per week. Corey used the term trader waiter. Yeah, but honestly, like, and I'm not trying to like go against what you're saying, Adam. This is just my thoughts at the moment. I think Netflix is maybe headed. I don't. I have a feeling that model isn't gonna is. It only has so far it's gonna go. I feel like the model will change eventually. Um, because, for instance, um, from what I understand, Sandman did so well. It was like the number one like Netflix show recently, but they're not doing a second season, or at least the last I heard, they're not doing a second season. And the reason why is because it doesn't bring in new subscribers. It's most popular on Netflix, but it doesn't bring in new subscribers as much as something like Stranger Things does bring in new subscribers. So that's what they're looking at. All they care about is getting new people to sign up and spend money, on a monthly basis. So Sandman, as popular as it was, it might not get a second series, or a second season, I should say. Who knows? But that they're looking at the background analytics and or what happens. So I don't know, and I feel like that's not really a great model, and it was a great model to kind of wean us off of physical tapes and things we rented at Blockbuster, but it's not a great. It was a good disruptor for that, but it's kind of losing its. I feel like it's losing its steam and won't be sustainable in the future. Possibly, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. And actually, that's another thing that Fue and I were talking about. He might have actually brought that to my attention. Um, you and Dede are so relaxing to watch. Thank you, Christopher. Um, yeah, I've heard that before, and that's nice. Like, and it's nice to be able to draw and have somebody like chatting with somebody, and you get to be part of the chat. And like, I mean, I love it with when I listen to Dede's, because I listen to her while I'm at work, at the day job. So but I totally get that too. And also like Joshua Kimball. I mean, Adam does videos too. He's got cool stuff where I like to draw and listen and stuff. And so do a lot of people, and it's really cool. I agree. It's a neat experience to do that. Waiting to buy the trade paperback versus reading the individual issues. Yeah. And there's a lot of people who do that. Yeah, like you said, the trader waiters, like um So, I mean, that's the thing too. I don't know. I don't know what the future is, man. But those are just my thoughts. Let's see. What else do we got? Tamara. Oh, sorry. Let's see. Let's see. What else do we got? Seven says, you can. All right. That's right. Coach Marsh, very positive and motivational. Love the support system on this channel. And Dede also other channels. Yeah, totally. We have like a really cool community. It's really nice. Um, so, like I said, I've been kind of tired from work. I'm getting a little bit tired here. I think I'm going to close up. I did some drawings. I'm not there yet. It takes a lot of time to do character design, you know. Um, So, but hopefully it won't take too much. I think when I'm more focused and I'm not like also doing a live stream, I'll be able to knock it out, you know, in a little bit of time and then get to the comic soon. I also have to finish the thumbnails. I only did these 2 pages and a little bit of this. And I think it's going to be a 4 page comic, you know, just this idea. This is the first comic where I'm like, trying to apply that write what you know thing that I've been talking about. Like obviously like this super everybody knows the advice write what you know. I think I heard it before I even heard about writing techniques and stuff. I don't know. But you know, this is the first time I'm trying to apply it and the new understanding of it that I've gotten. So I don't know. We'll see. It's not anything like super amazing. It's just like a cool little idea, and then I'll move on to the next one, you know. So I'm going to get going. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Please hit the like, subscribe, comment if you're watching on the replay or even if you're not. And yeah, we'll talk to you on the next one. I do these Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 p.m. to somewhere around, I don't know, I do them for a couple hours more or less, sometimes 4 hours. So yeah, thank you. And we will talk to you next time.